Yeah, I'll take a Dunkin'. Give me the iced mocha. Thank you, Kendra. My amp unit. Top of the morning on this early Friday morning, BC coming at you with a bonus impromptu vid. We're gonna discuss Bubba Ray, Bully Ray's stupidly horrible take on Mox's return to AEW this week. The fucking balls of Bully Ray to tell Mox how he should have returned. Oh, we're gonna talk about it. We're also going to discuss the ratings breakdown from Dynamite this week. You guys really enjoyed this segment last week. I showed you guys the graph from Brandon Thurston, and we broke down every quarter of Dynamite, and it was a lot of fun. It was good to see a lot of you guys enjoyed it just as much as BC, so I'm bringing it back. And we're going to break this show down, man. And together, we're going to see exactly what worked and what didn't in AEW this week. We're also going to talk about a group of fans that are trying to push for Bruce Prichard, head of creative, supposedly in WWE. They're trying to push for Bruce Prichard to be fired. While I love the passion and the chutzpah and the go-get-em attitude, that's like going into surgery for a heart transplant and coming out of surgery, finding out you got your tonsils taken out. If the heart is still in there beating the original heart, what the fuck is taking out your tonsils gonna do? If the old bastard Vince is still there, Bruce Prichard isn't gonna do anything. You could take out John Laurinaitis, you can take out Triple H, you can take out Kevin Dunn, you can take out any yes man that you want to take out. It ain't gonna fucking matter. If the old bastard is still there, that's the WWE that you've been getting for the past 10 years. That's what you're gonna still keep on getting. There was a lot of time where Bruce Prichard was not a part of WWE in the last 10 years, and it was still tragically bad. Do you know why? Because Vince McMahon was at the helm. But we're gonna discuss this funny hashtag that's been going around. I don't know, man. We're gonna talk about all this, maybe even a little bit more, and we're gonna get it started right now on this early Friday morning. I say, let's get amplified. Kendra, where is my iced mocha? And hit my music, damn it! Let's start this off the right way. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. No, that's fine. That's fine. I asked for the mocha, so you're good. Give it to me. Fucking do it. Damn it, Kendra. Keep that music blasting. No, just sit there, I'll let you know. Oh, man. Kendra, cut that shit. So I want to start off in this cold... Kendra, I said cut that shit. Same fucking... For those of you wondering, yeah, that's Kendra now. If you saw the double videos yesterday, the video I put up for the AEW review, the live stream, you heard me talking over to my assistant Natalie. Well, Natalie, if you caught the stream last night, for justified reasons, Natalie has been fired. She has been future endeavored. I have released Natalie. So now we have Kendra. And she's not off to a good start, man. She's batting about a fucking 150 right now. We're hoping that gets a little bit better. Ain't that right, Kendra? She's not even listening. She's got her fucking headphones on, fucking, what are you, blasting In Sync? It's gonna tear up my heart when I gotta fucking show you the exit door. Hit the bricks. I'm giving Kendra to the end of the day. That's it. Unfucking real. Anyway. Natalie is out. Kendra is in. It's early on a Friday. As I just aforementioned, man, 2 videos were put out yesterday. What a big day on the channel yesterday, man. The tube didn't pump anything out to my subscribers or to the majority, but it was good to see that a lot of you guys were able to catch both videos. If not, they're up on the channel now, man. My complete AEW review. I probably pissed everybody off yesterday. AEW fans, WWE fans, because I just spoke the truth, and usually when I do that, a lot of people start crying. So my AEW review, I put out the most factual fucking review you're gonna find in the community. In fact, I even said, if you watch the entire review, there's no way you could be upset with BC. Not like I give a fuck. But I said how much I enjoyed it so much more than last week's. I talked about a bunch of positives. There was just some critiques that I had, like the whole MJF and CM Punk storyline. It's gone beyond stale. It's not fun anymore, and if you're being honest with yourself, you know that. But we discuss it. We talk all about it in that review. Go check that out, man. Because you can't count on the tube to tell you that I put it up. And then a few hours, I got that out late yesterday in the afternoon. But then a few hours later, because some snow came into the area, and just a little bit, but that was enough to cause panic in everybody, and everybody got scared. So they canceled plans, so BC had free time. A few hours after that review, I put out a second video. It was a live stream. We went over 2 hours, and that's where I probably pissed off a lot of WWE fans, because we talked about Ali and Vince McMahon not granting his release and how BC is adamant that that's wrong, man. I understand what a contract means. I understand it's business, not to just let people go. But if somebody has given you everything they had, but you, Vince McMahon, failed him. You refused to see anything in him. And when he asks to be released because he's just not happy and he just wants more for himself and his future, and now you're gonna deny him? But I thought you didn't see anything in him. I mean, that's what you showed by your actions. But now when he wants to step away, and he did it cordially, he asked you for his release, you're gonna say no to this guy? You're gonna basically keep him as a prisoner? Because that's what you're doing. It's not like you're giving him chances, giving him the time of day, giving him good booking, allowing his career to prosper. No. You treated him like shit basically from day one. You put him in weird shit and said, see, we gave him a chance. Retribution is not a chance. 205 Live was not a real chance. And now when he wants to walk away, no. We treated you like shit, and we're gonna sit you at home until the very end of your contract. We'll probably have you come back, job you out a lot, and then throw you away like yesterday's garbage. Anyway, we talk all about that. Sami Zayn's return, or re-signing of WWE. Sami Zayn is a lifer for WWE, it seems. We talk all about that in that live stream. And we also talk about the new details coming out, the new information we got recently, that Triple H was in fact behind, with Vince McMahon, behind the whole inception of NXT 2.0. I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but we finally got more evidence that says this was an inside job and that Triple H was absolutely involved from day one with this new NXT. That's the whole reason he was not speaking out this whole time. That's the reason this heart procedure was scheduled when it was, when all the dirty work was being done by Vince and Nick Khan. And, man, we had a 40-minute cold open about the new details that surfaced. It's huge. It's big news, man. And this goes with everything that BC has told you. So it's all in that live stream. Again, I probably pissed off every type of fan imaginable yesterday. But I know that more, and I mean way more, my amp unit stood up, spoke out loud, man. And we had a lot of fun in those 2 vids. And I want to thank you guys so much for the love and support, man. Badass. And to all the newer subscribers, man, so many new subscribers. I want to thank you guys as well, not just my tried and trues, but my newbies that are jumping on board, just finding BC's channel. Welcome. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. We're unlike anybody else in the community. There's nobody like BC. You're gonna find that out quickly, bro. And I beat to my own drum. I don't follow the herd. I don't follow the sheep. I don't follow anybody else's mentality. BC is not here to share opinions and feelings. I'm here to drop facts. Because we need pro wrestling to get better, way better than what it has been. And we only do that if we're dropping facts. And that brings me to my opener, actually, man. Before we talk about some other topics, I gotta talk about, Kendra, can you relax a little bit? She's fucking jamming out to NSYNC over there, man. Fucking kicking the wall and shit. Can't concentrate. She's not gonna make it throughout I'm gonna release her by fucking noon. Kendra is released. Join Natalie in the unemployment line. Where was my train of thought? So Bubba Ray, man. Bully Ray, whatever you want to call it. He's always gonna be Bubba to me. Fucking Team 3D. But Bully Ray, he's got his little podcast. I guess people still listen to this son of a bitchin' thing. I've never heard one thing. Every time I ever talk about Bully Ray, it's always some stupid shit that I have to quote back from this big news story, and it got big because Bubba said some fucking crazy-ass stupid shit. It's not even shade or disrespect. It's just, this is a horrible take. And Bully Ray usually has a lot of these horrible takes. But let me just pop this up, man, so I get the exact quotes, if you don't mind. Mox returned to AEW this past Wednesday night on Dynamite. Now, everybody, if you gauge the wrestling community, and if you watched BC's review, if you haven't, check it out later after this bonus vid. It's up on the channel, my AEW review. I told you guys exactly how I felt about Mox's return and what it meant and what his words meant. And if you gauge the community, the general consensus is that we were all excited to see Mox and we thought that promo was fire. We thought he hit every bullet point and beyond. He brought the fire, the amplification, the passion. That's the Mox we were hoping for. He was looking good. He was rocking out. I don't see how anybody can find any fault in this, but okay, Bully Ray found fault. Okay. Say it's a dude that's been in the business. He knows the ins and the outs. Let's put some stock in Bully's words, depending on what they actually are. So then we go into Bully's words, right? We want to give him the benefit of the doubt, and then he just came out with one of the most horrible takes that I've ever heard in professional wrestling. And before I quote, I can fucking speak. Thanks a lot, Kendra. Before I quote this son of a bitch, let me just down a little bit more coffee, because I don't know if there's enough fucking liquid patience in the world to fucking go over what Bubba said as it pertains to Mox's return. But when you hear this, your eyes are gonna roll to the back of your dome piece. So Bully Ray says this, and I quote, about Mox's return. I did enjoy that they started off with Moxley. They came out with a bang, people were ready for it, and Moxley said what he needed to say. However, I would have liked to have heard just a little bit of accountability from John. I understand the whole demons thing, and we always use the word demons as a creative word to get around the real issues. Whether it's an alcohol issue, whether it's a drug issue, we have our demons. These demons got the best of John for a long period of time, where he had to step away from AEW. He says, I would have liked to have heard him say a bit of an apology to the AEW fans. Is that what you wanted, Bully? Yeah? You want to write his scripts? I'm pretty sure he's going off the fucking cuff here. Off the cusp, and he's just saying what's in his fucking heart, bro. But Bully wants an apology. So he says, I would have liked to have heard him say a bit of an apology to the AEW fans. You don't have to apologize to the boys, even though the boys do count on you, but any one of those guys and gals could have had the same problems that you did. And trust me, I came up in an era where a slew of men and women had their demons. The fans expect a little bit more from you. What about the fans that bought tickets to see AEW and Jon Moxley while Jon was away taking care of his problems, I'm very happy that he left and took care of his problems. And he looked incredibly healthy last night, and I love everything that he said. I just would have loved to have heard a little bit of accountability. I don't know if I'm sorry is necessarily the right word, but maybe endear yourself a little bit to the crowd if you felt you let them down. This is coming from me, the hard ass of all hard asses. Personally, if it was me in the same situation, the first thing I would have said is, guys, I'm sorry if I let you down. I think that would have been the proper thing to do. So Moxley did not do the proper thing Wednesday night. Bully doesn't think Moxley owed an apology, by the way. I do want to get that out there. He doesn't think it was owed, but he would have liked to seen it. Right? I want some transparency. I'm not going to totally throw this or Bully under the bus here. Several times he made it adamant that he doesn't feel it's owed. He would have liked to have seen that. But when you listen to his words, it's kind of contradicting yourself. I mean, that's exactly what you're saying. I mean, when you see, I just would have loved to have heard a little bit of accountability. Bro, he doesn't need to be accountable to you or anybody. He realized he had a problem. He went into rehab. He got himself straight. This isn't about a wrestling show or disappointing fans because you want to take care of yourself. This is why this is a horrible take. There's so many reasons. No real fan of Mox or pro wrestling or AEW was going, damn, Mox let us down. Damn, I paid ticket and Mox just fucked me over with my fucking ticket, man. I spent all this money. What the fuck is Mox doing? Is he gonna be out of rehab when I get to the show? Is this like a 2-week rehab, man? Get him over here, man. Who's holding him? Nobody's holding him accountable to jack shit, but getting himself better. Would have just loved to have seen him. I would have loved to have heard a little bit of accountability, is Bully's exact words. That's what he did when he went to rehab. That was the whole thing. He wasn't going to waste another day destroying himself or giving the fans a subpar Mox. The accountability was when he actually went to rehab. Has Bully ever been to Has Bully ever had a fucking real issue that he had to address internally? Maybe not. I don't know if I'm sorry is necessarily the right word, but maybe endear yourself a little bit to the crowd if you felt you let them down. Bro, the whole promo was talking about his demons and how he was fucked up. He wasn't in the right space. That is his accountability. That is endearing himself to the crowd. We were hanging on his every word. The first thing I would have said is, guys, I'm sorry I let you down. Mox didn't owe us an apology. Bubba Bully Bubba. Mox never once owed us an apology. He didn't before, he doesn't now. He doesn't owe us jack shit. You would have showed up in the middle of the ring and apologized to us. Mox isn't going to kiss ass if he doesn't need to. He knows we were there for him and waiting for his return. And we were going to applaud the shit out of him when he got back. You don't have to, this is a quote, you don't have to apologize to the boys, even though the boys do count on you. It's almost like making Mox feel like a complete shit. Thanks for telling me, Bully, that I don't have to apologize to my peers, my friends. Even though they count on me, according to you. You're making the dude feel like more shit than he did when he had to leave. As if he didn't feel bad enough. It's just weird words, man. This is coming across as somebody that has no idea what Mox was going through. Take it from somebody right here, who from a young age was putting down 30 packs at an alarming rate. Got in much trouble. because of a lot of these same issues. Yeah, that's BC. You know, so this is a lot more meaningful to BC, what Mox was going through. And then you have somebody like Bully that's saying this shit, and it just comes across clearly as somebody that has no idea what the fuck they're talking about. It's not even shade to Bully Bubba. Not that I would give a fuck. He claims he's the hard ass of hard asses. You ain't met B motherfucking C, I assure you. From the projects to prison to your YouTube channels. Hi, I'm BC. It comes across as somebody that clearly doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. You don't have to apologize to the boys, even though the boys do count on you. But any one of those guys and gals could have been and he literally says any one of those guys and gals could have the same problems that you did. So what are you alluding to, Bully? Any one of them could have had the same problems as you. So don't act like you have bigger problems than anyone else. That's what you're saying. Any one of them. This isn't about anyone else. This isn't about Ricky Starks. This isn't about Powerhouse Hobbs. This isn't about a damn Wardlow. It's not about a damn Luchasaurus or an Orange Cassidy. It's not about a Jay Lethal. It sure as hell isn't about a Chris Jericho or a Sammy Guevara. It's not about the Acclaimed. It's not about FTR. It's not about a Malachi Black. It's not about a Brody King. It's not about a Varsity Blonde. It's not about a Tony Khan. It's not about a Cody. It's not about a Kenny Omega. It's not about an Adam Page. It's not about a Bryan Danielson. It's not about a Young Buck. This is about Mox. This is one of the worst takes I've ever fucking heard in pro wrestling when a guy just got back from fucking rehab. And somebody who's been in the business for decades. It's like, I would have liked a little bit more I'm sorry, a little bit more accountability, a little bit more endearing to the fans. You don't have to say it to your boys, even though any one of them could have been in your position. And if it was me in this position, the first thing I would have said was, I'm sorry for letting you down. I mean, this is all what he said in these couple of fucking paragraphs, written anyway. It was actually on a podcast, so you can also fucking hear it. Don't know why you'd wanna. It's such a shitty take. This is a topic that's a little bit more fucking, you just, for BC, this is a topic you just don't fuck around with, man. If somebody needs help to the point of rehab, I mean, if they think they have that much of a fucking problem, bro, the accountability is actually manning up and going. Because a lot of people do not take that help. A lot of people don't take the first step to admit they have a fucking issue. That's the accountability. The endearing is when he just spent a whole fucking promo talking about his demons. You think that's easy for a man, an alpha like Mox? That's endearing to the fans. That's accountability for what he did to go to rehab, to admit he had an issue. That's endearing to talk about the demons. To come back and say he's gonna be better than ever. We don't need sorry. He didn't let us down, Bully. Don't be a fucking dick. You can be a hard ass of hard asses. And trust me, BC has been called a fucking bad guy, a negative asshole, the boogeyman in the community. I've been called every fucking name over the past 5 years from people that claim that BC's just a meanie. I'm an asshole on the tube and in these podcasts. That's fine, man. You can be a bad guy, a bully. You can be a fucking bully. You can be an asshole, but don't be a fucking douche. Don't be a scumbag, dude. Don't be that guy. Assholes can be tolerable. Even bullies can be tolerable. Douchebags, that's intolerable. Nobody wants to put up with that shit. Nobody will. This was a fucking stupidly horrible take, and I hope we never hear that type of junk and trash in this community ever again. I want to move on. You hear this one, man. Let me get a swig of coffee. This one's interesting. Oh, this one's funny. This story's a little bit more lighthearted. Kind of funny, man. Or really funny if you're BC. My same buddy that gave me that Triple H info that I unleashed to you guys in that stream last night, that 40-minute cold open exposing Triple H, and now we all know that it is indeed an inside job with Triple H knowing all along about what was going to happen with this NXT 2.0. My same buddy sent me this funny text, man, and he ended it with LOLs, and I legit LOL'd when I read it. But it seems like a pocket of fans are actually actively trying to get Bruce Prichard fired. Now, I don't know if this is like a gag or a joke. BC's not a big social media dude, but I gotta believe that there's some, like, the realism in this. I gotta believe, like, people are actively trying to get Bruce Prichard fired. And he's, for those of you that don't know, head of creative is his title, although everything is Vince McMahon. Bruce Prichard, just like every other yes man, is just the scapegoat when it all goes wrong, just like Vince has done in the past. Bruce, you're fired! Just like Johnny Laurinaitis has been fired. It's so many others, man. The Paul Heyman's fired, brought back. But Jim Cornette's, Jim Ross's, they've all been fired, come back, because they're used as scapegoats. That's what yes men are. That's what we mean when we use the term yes men. It's just people that are just carrying out what Vince wants. That's why on this channel, I blame Vince more than anybody else. I'm not saying that the yes men don't have their own hang-ups and issues and things that we can be pissed about, no doubt. And not saying that there's not talent that are not pissed with John Laurinaitis or a fucking Kevin Dunn or a Brucey Prichard. But it's Vince McMahon, guys. That's it. I use the term at the cold open of this video. It's like going in for heart surgery, and when you come out of surgery, you found out that they accidentally took your tonsils out. Well, the tonsils in this case would be Bruce Prichard. If you remove Bruce Prichard, the same thing's gonna happen the first time Bruce Prichard was removed. It's still gonna be a shitty product because Vince McMahon is still at the helm. You still have that bad heart. You just took the tonsils out. And then you could take one of your you could take a kidney out, and that's just gonna be John Laurinaitis. But the heart is it's still gonna be Vincent Kennedy McMahon. That's why I laugh at this, man. I'm cool with it. I love the initiative. Fire Bruce Prichard. You could have a fire fucking John Laurinaitis. I love the initiative. BC would lose no sleep if Bruce Prichard got fired, or a Kevin Dunn, or a Johnny Laurinaitis, or even a fucking, I love this guy growing up, but even a Michael P.S. Hayes. I mean, because he is still a yes man. I wouldn't lose sleep over it. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys wouldn't either. So I love the initiative, you know, people are fed up and they're going after the head of creative. I think the problem with BC laughs at it because I know the behind the scene. I know it's actually going down, you know. I don't look at it from just a fan's perspective. I look at it from what's actually happening. And I know that it's Vince McMahon that's the real issue, right? Blaming people like Bruce Prichard for the overall bad of WWE and people like Johnny L, those are scapegoats. As I've already aforementioned, they've already been fired before and brought back, and every time Vince is under fire, he'll fire them again. They're scapegoats, right? Yes men are there just to carry out Vince McMahon's directive. A yes man is a real thing in any company, and they're there to just carry out whatever that owner wants. They know what the owner wants. They know that, okay, it's my job. I have to carry this out. And if they don't, that's the stories when we hear that Vince McMahon is ripping up scripts minutes before the show. It's because the yes men did not get it right, according to Vince. It's always Vince, though. So it's funny to BC. I wouldn't lose any sleep. I love the initiative, but it's an easy target to just go for Bruce Prichard. It's an easy way out to go for a Johnny L and all them, because even if you remove them, again, wouldn't lose any sleep over it. It's cool if you want to have these little hashtags. But even if you do, it wouldn't change a damn thing, guys. And I can prove that. I mean, we're fucking up to 2017, right? WWE has been horrendous for 10 years now, easily. The past 5+ years, especially. But you go back to 2017, and Bruce Prichard was with Total Nonstop Action TNA Impact, was he not? I believe that was up to 2017. In 2018, he went over to Major League Wrestling. This is a dude who wasn't even with WWE 2017, 2018. He didn't get over to WWE until into 2019. not even at the start of 2019, by the way, into 2019, is when Bruce finally came back. And then over time through 2019, he started getting back into a bigger role. By October of that year, I believe he was announced as the SmackDown executive director, right? So end of 2019 is where Bruce Prichard finally got all his fucking creative shit at the helm. So now we're really talking, it's the bulk of 2020 and 2021, the pandemic years. But what about 2017, 2018, a lot of 2019? Don't act like you're going to just forget about segments like Bobby Lashley and his sisters. Does anybody remember that? Don't act like you're going to forget about the weird feuds with Goldberg and Braun Strowman. Don't act like you're going to forget about the booking of Kevin Owens starting to fucking decline, as it is, or was, again, recently. But it was happening before Bruce was there, too. Kevin Owens is a perfect example. It's so many. Go back into those fucking years and you start to see the ratings declining. You start to see people run away in droves. It was all before Bruce Prichard. I'm not advocating for the dude. I wouldn't lose sleep if your little fucking hashtags and your fierce frustration for the yes men continues. I hear you, man. I have fierce frustration for Triple H, who's a yes man. So I feel you. But I really think that people think that Bruce Prichard has just, like, been with WWE throughout all of this for fucking decades and he's never left. No. He didn't come back until 2019, guys. And it wasn't until near the end of 2019 where he had all this creative shit fucking actually flowing with his staff and all that. And they still answered the Vince, and Vince still didn't like what they were doing and ripping up scripts still to this day, minutes before shows. That's Vince. They're just there just to fucking do everything Vince wants, and if it's not done correctly, Vince is gonna fucking make it the Vince's way. My point is, my buddy LOL'd when he sent me the text. I had the fucking laugh because I know that in the end, I love the passion, but I know that in the end, it does nothing. Pre-Bruce Prichard, this shit was garbage and going downhill. Bruce Prichard just adds to the yes men mentality. You remove Bruce Prichard, I promise you'll get a new yes man who's right there willing to kiss Vince McMahon's ass and do everything he needs to do because that's the job description. You remove John Laurinaitis, you'll get the same motherfucking thing. And so on. Even my boy Michael P.S. Hayes. Sorry, Michael. So it's hilarious. You know, that's why on this channel we have to put the most blame on one guy, VKM. On this channel, we don't take the easy way out. I'm gonna hold the guy responsible, right? I know there might be other people in the community that just, they don't want to take on the head guy head on. They want to go for the lower people. It's easier. Maybe they can get their word out more because they're more accessible on social, maybe. I don't know. But just because it's easier does not mean that that's it's the fucking right way to go. You really want to change WWE and make it fucking good again? You're gonna have to, and I know this is gonna be tough to hear because it's gonna be a hard task. You're gonna have to remove the actual heart. You're gonna have to remove Vince McMahon. Because Vince McMahon is why WWE is bad for so long. You could say that John Laurinaitis helped make it worse. You could say Brucey Prichard helped make it worse. That's fine. But you go back 2015, 16, 17, 18, and on. It was horrendous. Bruce Prichard wasn't even with the company. Now you take the last couple of years. Okay, the pandemic years, man. Okay. What? The hill you want to die on is fire Bruce for the last couple of years? You want to forget everything before that? You don't want to take Vince McMahon to task? You don't want to believe that Vince McMahon is the real motherfucking issue? You think that when Bruce gives all these scripts to fucking Vince, you think he's ripping them up because Bruce Prichard gave him exactly what he wanted? No. You don't know how many scripts Bruce Prichard had ripped up in front of his face by Vince. The stories I could tell you, bro. But I feel bad. I mean, the dude catches a lot of flack because he's an easy target. He's an easy way out. I get it. But this is funny. If this is a real thing and people are actually trying to get the dude fired, man, I don't know what to tell. Best of luck, maybe? I don't know. But just remember what BC said. When Bruce Prichard leaves, don't be shocked when you don't see any difference when WWE continues to decline. Don't be shocked. BC told you it would. Because Vince McMahon is still at the helm. It doesn't matter who comes in. When he doesn't get what he wants, rip. It's always going to be Vince's way. How many times in the past year alone did we hear Vince is rewriting the show minutes before, hours before, minutes before? Well, it feels like every other week. It's Vince McMahon. It's hilarious. So these hashtags always make me laugh. The outrage for Bruce Prichard and Johnny L always makes me laugh because, yeah, I get it, man. They're yes men. Nobody likes a yes man. And they contribute to the problem, no question. And they may have a lot of bad decisions, no question, but that's because that's what Vince wants. You gotta understand why yes men are in positions in any Fortune 500 company, any big company, any small mom and pop shop may have yes men as well. Yes men, yes woman. And they're hired for a specific reason. Give the owner exactly what they want. And when you don't, the owner's gonna fucking make sure that it's done the way he wants it anyway. Anyway, I just had to have a good laugh with you guys on that, man. The outrage is now going down to the people they think is actually in charge. It's kind of funny. And I'm sure he's getting some slack because he's also involved in NXT 2.0. When nobody wants to point the finger at Triple H, if you saw my live stream, he's been exposed. He was in meetings with Vince way before the announcements of the new 2.0. He was hands-on with the 2.0. He was Vince McMahon's actual right-hand man. Paul Levesque was. But we want to let him off the hook, but we want to blame everybody else involved with NXT 2.0. I mean, let's not be a hypocrite. If we're going to blame Brucey, shouldn't we blame everybody involved with 2.0? Triple H, Paul Levesque, because that's what we found out recently. I don't know. I'm just saying, man. I guess that would be too truthful, though. Don't want to be that. Don't want to be too truthful in the community, do I? Let's move on, dude. Let's see if I can get this up from my boy Brandon Thurston, man. Rocking it, dude. Let's see if I can pull this up, man. I want to show you guys. Hopefully I can get this up on the graph, dude. We did this last week. You guys really enjoyed this. So I'm hoping I can do this, man. This would be really awesome. This is Brandon Thurston is his name. He's over on social, and this is always sent to me by one of my... Not the same buddy that gave me the Triple H info or even the Brucey Prichard info. This is one of my buddies that knows a lot behind the scenes in the pro wrestling world. And without him, I wouldn't know as much as I do behind the scenes. But he keeps up on this Brandon Thurston individual on social. And this guy is just amazing with the numbers, and BC loves numbers. This is a very numbers channel. So last week I did something cool where I took Brandon's graph and I kind of broke it down with you guys on air. You guys really enjoyed that. And so I'm going to do it again, and hopefully I can put it up post-edit on the screen for you guys, man. And hopefully by now I have that graph up for you guys. I do have it on the big screen, so let me go over this, man. This is Dynamite for this week, and if you guys didn't know, they pulled 1,032,000, man. They're back over 1 million. I felt it was a better show than last week. Last week, I literally told you guys in my review, this was before the rating came out, I said it didn't feel like a show that went over 1 million. I said it felt like a 975,000 show. It ended up coming in at 969. So when you say BC was right on the money, I was right on the money. It's fucking, you know, once when you watch so much wrestling, man, you start to gauge exactly what a show is going to produce. And I just felt like this show was better than last week. And if I thought 975 for last week, obviously I felt this was going to be around 1 million. Sure enough, 1,032,000, a huge jump of 63,000 fans. May not sound like a lot, but that's pretty huge when you're going into beach break, which you're really hoping is going to pull a 1-1. It's good to go into that over 1 million. So anyway, let's get into this, guys, man. Quarter one. This is we break this down into 8 quarters, 8 segments, if you will. Now, we start the show 1,218,000, man. You always start with this huge jump. People are tuning into the show. They're really excited about it. They want to be entertained for 2 straight hours, and that's why It's upsetting when I don't see the first segment coincide with the final segment of the night, the main event. I always feel that the two should be intertwined. The first segment should electrify your fan base so that they're, and even casual fans, so that they're going to put the remote down. And in that first fiery segment, you want to set up something huge for the last segment of the night, the main event, and hope that your audience stays tuned in. But what we see a lot in pro wrestling, it's not just AEW, is we have something in the opening segment that has nothing to do with the main event. So by the time you reach the main event, you've lost a lot of viewers because there was no real reason to tune into the entire show. Nothing was really keeping you tuned in. So that's why I feel like we're kind of resting on packing the beginning of these shows because the numbers tell us that that's where you're going to get the most viewership. But that doesn't mean you give up on the last part of the show, the second hour. I mean, you still have to pack that. So you see quarter number one, I should say. Jon Moxley returns to AEW in that promo, and you get a big 1.2 on that, dude. That's huge. Everybody hanging on Mox's words. Now, right when we go into segment 2, Q2, you see a pretty significant drop for Adam Cole Bebe and his Bebe, Britt Baker versus Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander. And this was even through picture-in-picture, by the way. It's not even like a commercial was taking you totally away. And they somehow lost, let's roughly do our Steiner math here, 73, 83, maybe 80 to 90,000 viewers was lost between Q1 and Q2. Because a big part of the audience just felt like what's going on in the rest of the show is just not captivating them enough to stick around. And even though I thought from top to bottom it was a good show, it's kind of true. Nothing in the show was really making you go, I have to tune in. So 80 to 90,000 viewers tuned out by the second quarter, the second segment, and I thought that match was good. BC would actually have had that mixed tag match with Cole and Britt Baker versus Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander. BC would have had that in the main event instead of the Acclaimed versus Sting and Darby, and I thought Sting did a phenomenal job in that match, but I just felt like Cole and Britt, not only would the match be better placed in the main event, but I also thought because you have Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy lights out next week at Beach Break, that's what I mean about captivating your audience in the main event and also intriguing them with a cliffhanger that you have to see what happens next week. I mean, you're going to have to see this lights out match. That's your last visual on the show is Cassidy and Adam Cole. And you know what's looming above them, that lights out match. That should have been in the main event. But 80 to 90,000 was lost for that. I mean, just not enough people thought that the rest of the show was going to produce. And then by the time you got to Q3, and this is you had some backstage segments, but you really had the bulk of Shawn Spears versus CM Punk and that whole angle. You dropped to just over 1 million by that point. I mean, you had lost nearly 100,000 viewers by Q3. That's a CM Punk segment, guys. That's not good. And that showed you that it's not just a BC's opinion that MJF and Shawn Spears is kind of falling flat, storyline-wise. There's no real excitement behind MJF and Shawn Spears, MJF and CM Punk anymore. The excitement is kind of gone. We all had that excitement when they started the feud and they were having those fiery promos together. And then the last few weeks of just taking on MJF's henchmen in the weird way that these matches have been finishing, people are not on board, and it shows you by almost 100,000 viewers tuning out of a CM Punk match. The CM Punk MJF storyline. And you lost almost 100,000 more viewers. Now, by the time you got to Q4 Seg 4, you were going to lose another 23,000 viewers. And that was primarily Cody's return. In Cody's promo, you had the backstage segment with Christian and Billy Gunn, and some other backstage promos. So you lost another, 23,000 roughly viewers there. You go into Q5, really getting into the bulk of the second hour, and we are about to lose another 9,000. We're still there at 1 million, man. But we're fading fast. Brody King and Malachi Black versus Varsity Blondes. Again, another 9,000 fans tuned out of that, unfortunately. And by the time that we were into Archer and Kazarian, in that, what is it, 6th segment, Q6, by the time we got to Archer and Kazarian, dude, we were just under 1 million. I mean, fans were just kind of zoning out at that point, and we were at 964,000. And I didn't think it was a bad match, to be honest. But it was just, people just stopped caring. There was nothing in that second hour that was keeping them tuned in. And unfortunately, by the time that we got to segment 7, Q7, Serena D versus Sky Blue, which I absolutely fucking loved, man. I love the fucking Detox into the Serenity Lock. I love Sky Blue in the Serenity Lock, if you know what I'm talking about. But unfortunately, the ladies were placed at a time slot where Tony Khan knew that that time slot is never going to fucking pull in a good rating. He knows that the end of his shows never pull in a good rating. He gives up in the second hour. So why keep putting your females there, dude? You know, if you think like it's because the rating is usually bad for females, so I'm going to keep them there, give us something intriguing. Make us change our minds about female wrestling if people are not on board. But I don't think it's fair that they just be put, they're tucked in, usually right before those main events. So Deeb and Sky Blue never really got a fair shot, and they lost another 23,000 viewers when we got to that match. By the time we got to the main event in Q8, segment 8, the main event, Sting and Darby versus The Acclaim, they were, even though it was the main event, they were only able to achieve just under 6,000 more viewers. They were never able to get back to even 950. And by that point, the second hour was just a dud. Now, again, if you caught my review from top to bottom, I thought good show. But that's it, right? It was just a good show, if we're honest. You can't say that anything was over the top great, or it captivated you to the point where your jaw was dropped, or it got you so excited for, you know, the future storylines. I mean, MJF, for instance, and CM Punk. I mean, if anything, you're even less interested than going into the last couple of weeks. I think Beach Break is building itself up to be pretty damn good, though. So that's what I mean about the main event segment. I would have loved something big for Beach Break, the build to Beach Break. I would have really had Adam Cole and Baker, Orange Cassidy, Chris Statlander in that slot. I think you definitely would have pulled more than 947. Bare minimum for that, I would have thought 970 plus, which would have put you more total at 1,050,000 plus. 1,050,000, man. Much closer to that 1-1. But that's, you know, you can Monday morning quarterback all you want. I can just, as a numbers guy, I can just offer my expertise at this. And when you break down these Q segments, you know, the story is sitting in Tony Khan's lap of what is working, what is not, what needs to be changed. As much as I thought it was a good show from top to bottom, sometimes you got to take out some shit like Lance Archer and Frankie Kazarian. Or even a fucking Shawn Spears CM Punk match. Sometimes you got to take them out and put in something uber captivating, an epic storyline. I remember some of the things back in the day that captivated us, like the Vince McMahon Stone Cold storyline, or NWO over in WCW, or even Undertaker and Kane. There were times where that story was really taking off. Or Rock and Stone Cold, or just Kurt Angle and fucking Shane McMahon. I don't know, I'm just weird shit like that. Fun, captivating storylines that made you need to tune in, not just that you wanted to. And I think that's what AEW is missing. I know for a fact that's what's missing when you look at these ratings in the breakdown. It's missing the storylines that that keep us at the edge of our seat with our jaws dropped. AEW they have yet in their inception, since they've begun, they have yet to have that one storyline that is shock and awe in the wrestling world. And once they find that, once Tony Khan hits his gold mine and hits that one storyline, you're going to see something awesome with these ratings because you can use that storyline a couple of times in one show. And you're going to see massive increases. And that's where you're going to pull in 250 to 350,000 viewers just for one storyline, guys. I'm telling you, I've seen it happen in the past. Back then, it was double that. But I know it's a different age and different era in pro wrestling. There is less fans. So I'm saying 250 to 350. And if you do that and you're already pulling in almost 1,050,000, well, that's going to put you closer to 1.4. If Vince is over here on Raw doing 1.5s and 1.6s, it's what I told you for the last several months. Tony Khan could easily be right there with Monday Night Raw if he plays his cards right. They have to get uber creative and come up with the one massive storyline that's going to captivate the wrestling world. They've yet to do that. We were hoping that CM Punk and MJF might be that. I know that's asking a lot. Unfortunately, that's fallen flat, and that's not just BC's words. You can look at the ratings, guys. Look at the Q3. But once Tony Khan finds that, because that's what this show is missing. That's what AEW Dynamite is missing. Of course, WWE as a whole has been missing that. That's a whole nother problem. But for AEW, this show is missing the one massive storyline that's going to knock everybody on their ass. From the very jump, have them put the remote control down. So you're steady at that 1.2 for the entire 2 hours. In fact, that'll be over 1.2. That's what this show is missing. I can't wait till they find it. I just hope they do sooner rather than later. Let's cut it back to BC if you don't mind. Thank you. What's up, guys? So thank you for enjoying, hopefully you enjoyed it anyway. I know you did last week, hopefully you did again, man. This breakdown of AEW Dynamite, man, I love doing this because it just tells us so much. And for anyone that goes, why do people follow ratings? They don't matter. Yes, they do. They absolutely do. First of all, it's the biggest reason why if your show gets canceled, it's because of ratings. If your show gets renewed, it's because of ratings. Don't you want to know if your favorite show is getting renewed or canceled? The ratings are the fucking sole entity that's going to tell you that. Ratings matter. And if you're a numbers guy, you love breaking it down. I'm not affiliated with AEW or WWE or any company or entity or promotion. It's a fucking channel on YouTube. It's a separate podcast. We break down things like this. It's always weird when people get upset with people on platforms like this going over numbers. It's fucking YouTube. These are separate podcasts. We go over numbers and shit. We break down the behind the scenes of the promotions. It's not that hard to grasp. Anyway, thank you for joining me for this impromptu bonus vid, man. I had a blast. I hope you guys did too. Now you know what we got to do. We got to whoop Friday's ass. The only way we know how, and that's amplified style. Baby! Baby! Think, be, live, amped always, guys. Knockout Friday. I'll be back with you within the next 24 hours with SmackDown's review. Hopefully Rampage as well. Sometimes I can't catch it right after. So sometimes I can't do Rampage with SmackDown, but we'll see. Stay subbed and notified. Thank you for everyone that took a moment to smash that up, helping the algorithm. You guys rock. And again, a couple of big videos I put out yesterday. Make sure you check them out, man. BC pissing everybody off and having fun doing it. All right, BC and I'm out. We got things to do. Kendra, you know what to do. No, do not put on another NSYNC song. Hit my music. Jamming out over here. I said hit my music! What are you doing? The red button! Oh, Maron. Fucking A. You're this close from getting your release papers. Future endeavor.